Today I'm going to show you the large guillotine from Durston. If you're thinking of purchasing it, I'm going to run through some of the things I would have liked to have known before buying it and seeing it up close and in person. Okay, first of all, maximum width it can cut is 300 millimeters. So that is quite a nice wide width. The other thing is thickness. So it'll cut copper, brass, silver, gold, all those kind of non-ferrous metals up to, it's rated to 3.5 millimeters. I'm yet to test it that far. At the moment, I've gone as far as 1.5 mil. Let's talk about the build quality. As we can come to expect from Durston for their heavy metal tools, they are on a level of their own. The castings themselves, the cast iron castings are quite robust. The movement mechanism up here, really quite robust. And everything's finished in that grey paint that we know to expect. This, we can see, is laser cut, really sturdy top surface. And what I really like is the depth gauge. The depth gauge just feels like there's no movement, there's no slop in it. So when we're looking for accuracy, that's what we want. We want that immovable part where it is nice and accurate. The weight of it as well is quite substantial. I think it weighs, the package weighed about 60-70 kilograms. It is quite a heavy lump, so you may need assistance when lifting this up onto the bench, and take great care and caution because they do arrive with some oil on them, so you really need to have a good grip as you're lifting it up. We don't want that dropping on your toes. First thing, when you get it, it arrived extremely well packaged. It arrived on a small pallet with loads of packaging and padding around it. And the only thing I had to assemble was the handle in here, the depth stop on the back, and I think the shelf on the front here as well. Then what I did was I drilled 4 holes through my bench and I attached it. You'd really want this well grounded and attached. I have it on an old woodworking bench. It has extremely thick surfaces. It's not something that you want on a small rickety workbench. You want this really well anchored. Okay. You do want some space around it as well. So as I step back, I need to pull the handle down. So you do need a little bit of space in front of it. And ideally, we wouldn't have this in a corner. Ideally, I would have space here, or maybe even this shelf missing. Because when I'm setting depth, I do need to get in here and I need to look down on top of this slider to make sure that I am getting the depth set accurately. Talking about the depth cutting, okay, or repeatable cutting. Repeatable cutting is very easily achieved with this because we have a depth stop. And that allows me to cut multiple pieces quite quickly and efficiently by sliding in the material, making a cut, and then advancing, making another cut, and so on. And then, you know, it's easy to make an adjustment to the dimensions as we go along. Out to the front, we have a square here. That's going to allow us to feed in the material and make sure that it is accurate to the blade. The square at the front does have adjustments, so we can open this up and move it. If you maybe have to do an angle cut that needs to be repeated quite often. So there is some scope there. The accuracy of the depth gauge to me seems really quite good. We can definitely get into the 0.2 of a millimeter kind of tolerance range, and with a couple of test cuts even we can dial that right in so that we're getting bang on dimension every time. The other thing, the amount of effort required to make a cut is not too bad because we're using a lever. We have quite a long handle on it. If we hold this here and I pull down, yeah, really quite easy effort there. And the further out on the handle you go, the more easier it has. The more easier an experience it is to make that cut. with the guillotine, you're not cutting the full 300 millimeters at the one time. You can see on the left hand side of the screen, the gap is different from the right hand side of the screen. And we can only see this with the guard removed, really. Once I start to pull the lever down, you can see how it shears across the whole thing. So that way you're not having to pull down and slice through that 300 millimeters at the one time. So the guillotine gets all its strength and force from this bar here that is off center, we'll say. It's a cam. So as it comes down, it pushes on these two big hinged parts, and it pushes it nice and evenly and with great force. The cuts themselves really quite smooth, very little burr on the back. What I do like about the cut that it does on that material is we don't get any rollover, or very, very little, quite minimal rollover. Sometimes from suppliers I will order materials and it'll have a pull down corner or a rounded edge. With this, it's quite a clean shear cut, and I'll show you that up close now in a second, or maybe I'll put an overlay on the video. I'm going to use this in my workshop to do a lot of repeatable cuts. So students doing a saw piercing exercise, we'll have maybe a 50 millimeter square of brass or copper for a student to use. So I will be cutting a lot of those. So that's where I will be setting the depth to that 50 millimeters and just repeating that cut. And I'll cut slices first, and then I'll take all the slices, turn them 90 degrees, and then cut them at 50 millimeters to make them a square. I would recommend this guillotine for somebody that is maybe a professional workshop or somebody who does a lot of repeated straight cuts. If you're wanting to cut curves, this is not the way to do it. But if you are making a lot of pieces where you need your own ring blanks cut to size often, or if you are dimensioning out sheet material for classes or schools, definitely recommend this. And yeah, if you work creatively with a lot of straight line cutting, and I can definitely see this being a huge time saver and an advantage. So the materials that you can cut on this are your non-ferrous metals like your brass, copper, gilding metal, gold, silver, and so on. And that will cut up to a maximum thickness of 3.5 millimeters is what it's rated to. I have tested it up to about 1.5 millimeters so far, as I haven't got anything thicker in the workshop at the moment. And mild steel, it will cut up to, it rates it at 10 gauge mild steel. It's not something that I cut, so I'm not really focused on that. It also states that not to cut any stainless steel, hardened steel, or any kind of steel like that that will damage the blades. Talking about blades, it has 4 cutting surfaces. So if one of your blade edges if you're cutting and you get a little mark on your blade, you can rotate the blade to a fresh cutting surface. And the blade supplied has 4 fresh cutting surfaces. So that's good to know. And we'll see how long I go before I put a ding in the blade. I presume it'll be quite a while, because I tend to take care of lifetime investment pieces like these. And that's the thing, I think of a rolling mill as something that I will have for my career, and it will outlast my career. It'll move on to somebody else after I'm finished with it. So I tend to take care of it. I'll do some maintenance on it regularly, and I'll just keep it in a tidy and clean fashion. So the maintenance on it, it's all about just keeping it clean. So a little light oiling every now and then on the feed table, and on the moving parts a little bit of 3-in-1 oil, something like that. And then it's just taking care that the metal you're putting in are dry and clean, and yeah, just being careful to not overdo it with using too heavy a gauge metal. Now, when you are cutting metal, if it is the full 300 millimeter width, it is advised to clamp it down. So I have a couple of different clamps I am using. I have one with a little plastic stopper on it. I do have somewhere around here a quick clamp as well, which is quite useful just for quickly clamping the sheet and do the cut and then release the cut as well. So let's use the guillotine. Let's try it out. So I'm going to change the depth to 50 millimeters. And there we go. And I'm going to take my nice sheet of copper. This is 0.9 mil copper. And we are at 184 millimeters across. 184. So I'm going to put that right against this. And I can feel it engaging there. And I'm going to make a cut. And there we go. So that cut looks really nice and clean. This was my reference side. This is my cut side. So let's just check it for square. Yes, bang on. Perfectly square. And here is the piece out the other side. So I am now going to place that in, turn it 90 degrees, feed that through to the stop, and cut. Repeat, cut, repeat. So we have one small piece, and you have 3 perfect squares. Yes. Beautiful. So let's take this sheet of 300 millimeter wide, 1.2 millimeter thick brass and make a full width cut. So I'm going to stand on this side, feed it in, make it touch the stop, and now I'm going to clamp it. Okay, so we have it clamped, it's well held, and then we make that cut. And there we go, full width cut. Definitely more effort required, but it was definitely achievable. And while it's at 1.2 mil thick, I can see how clamping larger, thicker and wider pieces is definitely advisable. We can focus solely on pulling the handle down. So even if I got into thicker stock, I'd probably put in a second clamp on the other side as well. So the next thing I want to look at is if I have a cut that isn't 90 degrees, what it's like to actually achieve this. So I've scribed the line across here at an angle, undetermined, and I'm able to sight down behind the guard and right onto the corner of the blade. And I'm able to line that up both sides of the corners of where the line meets the edge. And now I think I have it in the right position. I pull down, make my chop, and that looks pretty good there. Looks like it was pretty much on the line. And check that side. Yeah, no trace of the line left, so that's telling me I was bang on with my cut. I feel like if you have the space for a guillotine and you have the work over a career to cut straight cuts and get those repeatable cuts, I think this is an investment piece that is worthwhile having in your workshop. If you're setting up a workshop, it's not the first piece I go by, and it's probably not even the second piece. It's a little bit down the list, but it's definitely one of those that is going to speed up operations and make you a lot more efficient in your preparing metal. Okay, so let's talk about the downsides. Downsides are it's quite stationary. So once you bolt it down, it's there. You're not moving it about. It's not something that you can take off your bench and put underneath when you're not in use, when you're not using it. So if you use a small workshop, it takes up a bit of a footprint. And other downsides would be the cost. It's at the moment just over €2,000. So it's an investment piece, but I have a shear, a guillotine shear as well, and it doesn't do the quality. Every time I do a cut, it doesn't get as straight a cut. This is far superior. So for me, while it's expensive, the quality of the cut is outweighs that expense over its lifetime of use. Other downsides, not quite sure. Give me a couple more months and I'll see if I come up with some, but so far I'm really quite happy with it. Do I have any regrets or buyer's remorse? No, none whatsoever. It's one of those pieces that does exactly what you expect it to do, and it's robust enough to last one or two careers. So no, I think it's well worth having if you have the work for it. So that is the Durston Guillotine. It's the 300mm width Guillotine Shear. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below and I'll try to get back to everybody.